should be there somewhere. And you just click it to open it. And then what we can do is we can open up an FX HV emitter. That's what we're going to need. And then these are just some basic settings. I actually have some notes on this. We don't need that many particles for this. We're going to do 10. And then on the size, we're just going to do 2 tab 0.2 and then 2 and then like 300, or let's do 400 particles. And then under here, this is just going to be 0. We want a little bit of a lifetime on this, so we're going to do 400, and then we can, you know, have some variability in there and just do 25. Again, these aren't carved in stone. You can use any. And then we'll leave all this the same. Here, I think that we want something like 0.5 and maybe something here like 4, something like that. Okay, and then that's all the settings for the particles. So we can close that. And if you hit play, you just see the particles populating into the scene. They're not really doing anything. Okay, but we can also increase our frame here to 300. Okay, and then what we do is all we got to do is come over here to wind, and we add wind, and you get this wind pops up here. And of course, this is a tornado, so we want this to rotate on the Y. We want the inverse fall off. Set the radius to 5. Set the power to 250. And I'll show you a trick on this in a minute. And then under the vector, now it's interesting. So if you stop right there, right, and we go back here and we go play, it's kind of cool. You can see the particles kind of going up in a twirly fashion there, which is really cool. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to go to vector here, and we're going to zero out the Y, and we're going to put this on, like, let's say 0.7, like that. Okay. Now if I go back to the beginning, you'll see they're just swirling around down here on lower level, which is kind of cool by itself. That could be some kind of galaxy effect. That's really cool right there. Then what we do is we can go back over to our FX browser, and we're going to add the wind again, another wind, and this time we want to do the cylinder explosion. We want the inverse fall off. The radius is again 5. And the power, you might come down a little bit on that, so maybe go 75. On the vector, this is going to be on the Y, so we can put in a 4 there. And that should be it. Let me pull back a little bit here. And then let's just click on the emitter. And if I start play at the beginning, you'll see what we get. See, very tornado-ish kind of swirling thing. And then all you got to do once you got the flow is add your hypervoxels to it. And that'll be the second video. Now I will show you one thing that I kind of discovered. If I come, now I was questioning, how do I get back to this? I think I just can click on this item here, and then it pops up over here. What I noticed was if I come here and go to Wind 1, and this was what was cool, if you go to the spiral and you go negative, then you'll see it actually makes its V out more on the top. Becomes more of like a V-like thing. So let's say I brought the spiral out to negative 18. If we go and look at it now, it spreads it out the top a little bit more. And then just to show you real quick what you could do to start adding surfacing, if you just wanted to get into that real quick, but I'm going to go into another video about that because it's a little more involved. But we got to go into render. We go into render properties. We go to use legacy volumetrics, and then we'll come into the backdrop. We go into the backdrop. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Legacy here, hypervoxels. Double click there, and we click on the HV emitter and activate it. And then we got to switch into VPR, and you'll see it's just the bubbles right now, but you see it coming up like kind of a tornado-y kind of thing. So there's some work to be done. But it's kind of cool. So anyway, that's all I had for right now, and I will talk to you guys later.